What's up now? This me, Will. I'm just going for a walk. You know, I'm recognizing things around me. You know, the beauty and scenery. You know, I notice that everywhere I go now. Like this park, this is nice. It's peaceful. It's a peaceful thing. Try to find peace in everything you do on a daily basis. Even when turmoil hits you, always try. That way you can deal with what you got to deal with. Especially if you are in a process of recovery. You in a recovery process. You know, getting clean, staying clean. Get sober, stay sober. I'm gonna say both, because I got some people that look at it different. They say sober, sobriety. Some people say clean, being clean, and that's, you know, that. But all in a nutshell, you got to think about it. All right, let's get started with the video. A recovering addict named Will. That's what I'm gonna say. Well, anyway, I want to touch on 3 things in this video. 3 things that can possibly, 3 tips that can help you along your way in recovery, especially when you first getting into recovery, or you might be someone who has actually had a relapse and now you coming back into the process of recovery. It's just three minor things that you kind of like want to, you know, be aware of. Okay, let's get with one. First one, it's going to be the major, how to deal with cravings. Now, if you were type of person that was, this is for anybody that's actually addicted to any type of substance. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs or whatever, and you trying to actually stop and you having these cravings. You might not have physical cravings. Now, for the people that are having physical cravings, you might need to seek professional help. But on the mental level, these things right here are the things that I did when I first got clean. And one thing that I did, the first with my craving, is being able to recognize what I'm feeling on the inside. Feeling like, why am I so keep wanting to go back to something that I really don't want to? And it's like, you know, a person is fighting with themselves, and that's what the craving feel like. So, you know, the thing what I did when I first got clean, I would keep my mind busy. I will always stay busy, even if it's like, you know, doing minute things, you know, things around the house, like cleaning up, or, you know, even to go work out, you know, reading a book, reading a book that's something that's going to be actually beneficial to the mind. I'm not saying nothing that's going to actually enhance the craving, because you don't want to do that. You want to kind of like stay busy. You know, keep your mind busy. If you got a hobby or something, get into your hobby. It doesn't have to be something that you have to pay for. It could be a hobby, you know, like working out, or maybe painting. You know, I don't know what you like doing, you know, but as each individual, you have to find what you like to do. You have to find out how your mind works. You have to find out, you know, things about yourself in order to defeat the disease of addiction and put it under arrest. Alcoholism, put it under arrest. You have to be able to actually focus on what you need to focus on. And the only way to be able to really focus on, not actually going back to whatever you like to do is keeping your mind busy, because the thought starts up here and then it kicks into a physical thing, like to where as though you had a butterflies in your stomach, or you might have to use the bathroom a lot. You know what I mean? That's when you know you're kind of like going into craving mode. You know, you gotta watch out, and you gotta be aware of what's going on. Another tip on dealing with cravings is talking about it to people that has a healthy mind, that kind of understand what you're going through. I'm not saying go talk to someone who doesn't have no type of understanding of what you're going through. You understand? Because if you do, they could trigger off. If you do, and they might say something that kind of like rub you the wrong way, it could trigger you off deep into what you really. It could trigger you off into not really finding a solution for the problem at the moment that you're going through a craving. So you want to beware, and you want to kind of watch who you bounce your things off to. You know, now if you by yourself and you can't actually get to nobody and just say, man, I'm feeling like I don't know what's wrong with me on the inside. I feel like I got a craving, or I feel like I want to use. You if you can't get to nobody, you have to sit down and actually go through it. You have to go through it. Don't move. Don't do anything that's going to jeopardize your clean time / sobriety. I'm talking to people that's in all fellowships. Because, see, you got to think about it. People that are right now are trying to find a formula for themselves to actually want to get clean and stay clean. Not everybody have to go to a 12-step program. Not everybody have to go to church, because we're all different on the inside. You have to find out the formula for yourself. You have to find out what works for you. And if once you find out what works for you, then you can kind of like go into problem solving mode. Once you find out what works for you, because only thing I'm doing is just giving tips. None of my tips might work for you, but if you kind of like have an open mind, and that's another thing that help deal with cravings. You have to have an open mind. An open mind in listening to people who actually have the same goal that you have. I don't want you to say, okay, I can have an open mind to somebody who smokes marijuana on a regular basis, and you trying to quit doing everything. You don't want to do anything. You want to stop and stay stopped. That's the key. To stop, right? Once you figure out how to stop, that's the easy part. But staying stopped, that's where the work come in. And it's not really work. Once you figure out who you are and you figure out how to really activate that within you, because once you figure that out, and then deep down inside, you'll figure out it's something that God gave you, a gift within you. Because every human being has that gift. And the gift is power over free will. Right? So if you got power over free will, today, you could choose not to put nothing in your body, because you are the person that has that last say-so in ingesting something into your system. You control that body. Nobody else. So you gotta really think about it, and that right there, once you figure out that part, you can do other things. You could be like, okay, well, I recognize it. It's just a craving. And if I sit, this too shall pass. I'm serious. Because I'm going to give you an example, real short example. The day I got out of prison, my grandfather, bless his heart, he passed away. He's not here now. But anyway, my grandfather helped me with my first craving. Well, not actually my first one, but my actual first craving when I was in the land of the free. Like, be able to just go do what I want to do. You know what my grandfather said to me? That really kicked in my mind to just sit there and wait. And my grandfather don't do 12-step meetings. He was a Christian, church-going person. He said, just sit there and be patient. Be patient. That's all you got to do. And once you figure out patience is part of the formula, then you can actually reach out to yourself, your inner self, and you can solve other problems in life. Because patience is the key to a lot of things that goes on with you as an individual. And I know it with me. You know, right now I don't have cravings to use. It doesn't work like that for me. A thought pop in and I automatically boot it out because I play the whole tape through. When you dealing with that, play the whole tape through. Because if you accumulate it one day, 2 days, 2 hours, whatever you just accumulated, and you put down your foot and you said, look, I'm not doing this no more, pat yourself on the back, right? But then look at the decision that you made, a conscious decision. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not going to put any mood or mind altering substances in my body. And you don't have to battle with this. It's not a battle. All it is just making a decision. And once you make a decision, yes, you're going to feel a little different on the inside because you're changing. It's like a butterfly. It's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Once the caterpillar get done eating and do what they got to do, it goes into a cocoon. And once it goes into a cocoon, that's what you're doing. You're in a cocoon right now. You changing. You know what I mean? But you can actually feel it. You know, you're not in a state of, you don't have a conscience. This is why we have feelings. We're dealing with a conscious type thing, and it's like something that's within you. You have to find a formula that works for you. You can't knock another person because they went to church. That's how they figured it out. They're going to tell you, well, I went to church, I prayed to God, I got deep into doing services at the church, and that worked for them. Because I seen it. I seen it actually work for a family member of mine. They passed away. But the last 6-7 years of their life, they were able to live clean. And that was good. But they didn't go to 12-step meetings. They didn't go to Narcotics Anonymous, CA, Cocaine Anonymous, or any of those anonymous programs. They went to church and they got it. It works. You know, you just gotta figure out what you really want to do. You know? And if you say, well, I done been clean. I've been clean for 2 weeks now. Or you might have been clean for a year now, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long you've been clean for, or how long you've been sober for. You know, you got to think about it. All what you have accumulated, I'm not talking about accumulating physical things, because physical things, material things have nothing to do with being clean and sober. This right here is an interchange within your body on a spiritual level. I got to give it to me, myself. I got to give it to God of my understanding. You know, and I thank God of my understanding for where I'm at right now. But, okay, that's one tip right there All right, now the third thing that I want to talk about in this video is why is it important to monitor yourself around people, places, and things. Now, this right here is something that you as an individual have to gauge. Nobody can gauge that for you. This is where you actually become mature. You're becoming more mature in your recovery. People, places, and things. And in the beginning of recovery, people, places, and things, you really have to be careful, because you could be easily influenced to go back to where you came from. You don't want to be easily influenced to go back to where you came from. So a lot of times people say people, places, and things, you got to be careful. But as you prolonging your recovery, or being clean, however you want to say it, sober, you find out on a deep level, people, places, and things don't have nothing to do with you being clean and sober. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Once you really look deep into the mirror and take off the glasses and look deep into your pupils of your eyes, and you really look, you will find out you are responsible for that, not anybody else, because you have the last say so if you're gonna put something in your system or not. You're gonna start back drinking, doing drugs. You know, you gotta think about that. You gotta think about that on a deep level. This is your body. You have a body. This is something, it's a God gift to have this, because you 1 out of a billion. 1 out of a billion. If you looking at this video right now, look in the mirror and you better notice that you are 1 out of a billion. Because on the day of conception, when you were conceived, mom and dad was creating a child, procreating. You got billions of little bitty sperm, and you are the one who made it. So now that you kind of like have a idea of what I'm talking about, you have to look in the mirror and understand that you are responsible. But early in your recovery, until you actually discover that on a subconscious level, you have to understand that you got to be careful. Because in the long run, like I say, people, places, and things ain't got nothing to do with it. Because you're going to go into situations. Right now, I go into situations right now that people are using. I don't know to go there. Sometimes I just walk up into a situation and they using. You know, they smoking, they drinking, they partying, they laughing. You know, you can go to a birthday party. You know, people at birthday parties, because you clean and sober, they not clean and sober because they living their life. But you got to recognize from a point of view, that's their body. That's the way they think. You change. You're doing something different now. You master this on the inside, because this is what God gave you. It's a gift. It's a gift. You got to recognize you have a gift. And don't let that gift just disappear. Don't let it just don't let it, don't look at it like it's a curse. You understand? Because you've been placed here on this planet for a reason. But right now, you have to deal with your past, present, so you could prepare for your future. Past meaning the past life you live, far as using and abusing substances. Using and abusing substances in the past got you where you at right now in the present. So right now in the present, as you watching this video and you got a thought inside your mind and you actually thinking about, I'm gonna stop and stay stopped. Once you get that thought in your mind, Then you go and find a solution. And you find the solution. And you working towards, because it's work. It ain't easy, because you're dealing with something that you have. You have a spirit. You have a conscience. And you have flesh and blood. That's this body. You control this. This is yours. God gave this to you for the duration that you are alive. So people, places, and things don't really have nothing to do with it. But in the beginning of your recovery, you first getting clean, people, places, and things can be dangerous because you still in a cloud. Your mind is still in the cloud. You gotta figure it out. You understand? So I got another thing I want to talk about, right? And this is very important in recovery. This is very important in recovery. The importance of having gratitude. Being grateful. Don't look at the next person and say, I should be where they at. No. You are right where you at, where you supposed to be at right now because of the decisions that you have made. You make good decisions and you make bad decisions. But you got to live and own up to everything that you make. Because you are the one. You are the one that's in control of your destiny. You have a choice. There are things out here that can actually boost you onto another level if you're trying to get there. But you got to go out there and seek it. Meaning, like, if you're trying to go to school, you want to go to school, you go do it. Go to school. If you want to try to figure out how to become a millionaire, you talk to other millionaires. And you ask them how do they do it. And if they willing to share some of their secrets, that's being grateful. That's having gratitude. Have gratitude for that. Be grateful for where you are at the moment. Be grateful for being able to have the knowledge that you have right now to be able to change something from within you. That's within you. Because God gave you that power. Every human being has that. But if they don't recognize it, they'll stay lost. It's good to be able to be conscious. It's good to be able to have a understanding. It's good to be able to have an open mind. And sometimes you have to shut your mouth and be quiet and just listen. Being grateful to be able to get a message from that person that's actually trying to help you, or that person that's actually going through something and they sharing something with you that maybe that can help you in the future. You never know. What they going through, you might end up going through it. And finding a solution to whatever you're going through is powerful. It's more powerful when you approach a situation with an open mind. Don't act like you the smartest person in the room. But because on all levels, you don't know everything on all levels. That's me. I don't know everything on all levels. I see people and I say, damn, how did he do that? Or how did she do that? That's because they're knowledgeable in that area. They're good in that area. Whatever the area that they doing right now, they good at it. So having an open mind and having in the cloud, once the cloud is lifted, and being able to notice what's going around you, what's happening around you, and be able to be grateful to have those kind of people around you is a blessing. I'm gonna tell you, you might not like what they say to you. It might put you in the mode to where you want to shut down. But don't shut it down. Just listen. Be grateful. Have gratitude. Have an open mind. That's the only way you're going to learn something. And that's the only way that you're going to learn how to stay stopped. Like, subscribe, share. It's me, Will. Be blessed to all. Peace.